last year I said the Niners should trade George Kittle. They didn't. He had a very nice season, stayed healthy. Now there's some rumors that Brandon Ayuk might get traded, or not that he might, but that the Giants were interested. I asked John Lynch, would you do it? And he was just like, no, we love Brandon Ayuk. We want him here, all that. So forget that. I'm thinking next year, George Kittle might get traded, that this could be his last year because he's getting a little bit older, and eventually Brandon Ayuk might surpass him on the pecking order. Because right now Kittle's still ahead of him, I would think. Anyway, do you think that that's feasible here, that this could be the last dance for George Kittle?
Okay. If I were running that organization, I would make this his last season.
Yeah.
Bill always said, trade him a year too early, not a year too late.
Right.
I think if you trade him after this season, you can get value for him. I think his career after this year, and maybe even starting this season, will be on the decline. So I would say get what you can from him this season. Draft a really good tight end in the draft, a promising tight end that you can actually throw the ball to and who can block and do all the things he does or used to do. And I would say make this his last season. What do you think?
I would say so too. Right now, the way I look at it is he's third in the Niners pecking order. It goes McCaffrey, Debo, Kittle, Ayuk when they're all healthy in terms of who's going to get the most touches. And for him to even be third is amazing because he's making $18 million this year. Like, that's a number one guy. And when they paid him, they thought he'd be their number one guy, but he's 3 now, and he's a good one. But next year, with Ayuk improving, Kittle could be 4, and then he'll be making $19 million. And eventually, you can't pay that much money for a fourth option. And if they trade him next year, they save like $10 million. So, yeah, I think it's almost inevitable that they would probably trade him next year and get something for him.
Iggy, how old is he?
I'll tell you right now. I believe he's 29. He is 29 years old. He turns 30 on October 9th.
Okay. Yeah, trade him when he's 30.
Trade him when
that's
he's 30.
what you save money and you open up spots for other people, and you can sign other people.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you had to choose between trading Brandon Ayuk or George Kittle, I would trade Kittle. He's like 5 years older.
Oh, I would say Ayuk right now is a better ball player than Kittle.
Yeah, I would agree.
Iggy, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And you're much more literate than I am about this stuff, conversant.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Would you rate the top 5 tight ends in the league in order? And let's see where. If you can't do it, it's okay.
I don't know if I can do it off the top of my head. He's definitely top 5.
I think he's top 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kelsey is in there, right?
Kelsey's number 1. Kittle's, I mean, he had such a great year receiving last year. I don't think he's the blocker he used to be. I think he used to be a little bit stronger, especially in his legs, but he started getting injuries, and I think he wanted to maybe lose a little weight for some longevity, and it's working. But he's really good. He's really good. But to your point, like, he's about to be 30, and he could fall off a cliff quickly. The Niners got rid of Ronnie Lott and Roger Craig right around the same age. It would make sense. It would make sense.
And Roger Craig and Ronnie Lott, all due to Kittle, were better players than Kittle.
Yes, absolutely. Kittle kind of reminds me of Dwight Clark a little bit, although Dwight was before my time. I've just seen highlights. But 6'5", tough, could run after the catch. I mean, I don't know, somewhat similar as receivers.
Yeah, but one difference. Dwight made the catch. And Kittle never would make the catch. He wouldn't be there, and he wouldn't make the catch. Am I right?
Correct. You're right. I want to talk about Ayuk for a second. I was talking to a coach about Ayuk, and I was saying, he reminds me a lot of Pierre Garçon. And the coach was like, oh, no. He's much better than Pierre Garçon. You know who he reminds me of? John Taylor. He said if Bill Walsh were coaching this team, he would be using Brandon Ayuk the way he used John Taylor. What do you think of that comparison?
I love it.
Yeah.
I want to say John Taylor was a great wide receiver. Not good. Yeah. He was great.
Yeah.
What a twosome they had. He was just great. And I can see what he means about Ayuk, but they haven't really had a quarterback who can fully take advantage of him.
And they're so committed to running the ball, he doesn't really get the opportunities. But yeah, if he were in a different offense.
Don't you get the feeling that he's silently frustrated?
Yes. I mean, not so silently. He tweeted something about a month ago saying, I'm the fourth option in a run first team. But then he tried to, he said, I'm a fourth option in a run first team. And it was like something after that, like, I'm ready to go back to work and prove myself again or whatever. But yeah, it seems like, what the hell? No one features me. He's not really featured on this team when, frankly, he probably should be.
And on other teams, he would be.
He absolutely would be. Imagine if he were on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
He'd be
what Andy
getting a lot
Reid
more.
He would have so much imagination what he would do with him. And one thing, there are things, again, I never met Ayuk. There are things I like about him. He is really tough, Iggy.
Yeah.
And you don't necessarily see wide receivers who are that tough. Dwight Clark was. He was very tough. And he's quiet. Mm-hmm. He doesn't toot his own horn. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Another thing. He has a very nice mommy.
He does. He's tough, he's quiet, but he's not like, he's intense. Like he's very
smoldering.
Intense.
He's smoldering.
Smoldering. Thank you. That's the word. I love it. Love it. My dad always has the right word.
I'm a writer.
Smoldering. I love that about him. Like he's so pissed and you're not really sure what he's mad about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Do you feel nervous about going up to him in the locker room?
No. I've talked to him before. I mean, he's not a big talker, but since I took his mom out that one time and showed her a good time in Green Bay, he's always nice enough to me. Although I don't know if he likes me. I mean, not that many people on the team actually like me. He's not like Jimmy Ward or anything, but he'll answer my questions. Debo won't.
Hey,
Debo won't answer my questions. Armstead won't answer my questions.
You know what I noticed yesterday?
Wow.
I watched Lynch. He never used your name yesterday.
No.
He used everybody else's name.
I know. Oh.
Matt, Eric.
Oh.
So is he?
Was I getting punished?
I don't know. Or was it just an oversight?
Maybe it was just an oversight. Too bad.
Are you crushed?
I'm crushed. I want to be my friend. I thought we were friends. Fish and Chip says Bill and Bob and George, they got the rings. It worked. Kyle sits in his cupboard poring over his 1996 Denver Broncos playbook by candlelight. Fish and Chips does not like the Shanahans. I feel him on that. He's passionate.
There are some people who don't like the Shanahans.